Welcome to HealthTech Showdown, where groundbreaking healthcare innovations accelerate their growth by 10 times. Join us as visionary founders pitch their solutions to industry leaders and investors. We're not just funding dreams, we're helping companies close deals 3 times faster and scale efficiently. From digital health pioneers to breakthrough medical devices, this is where healthcare innovation finds its proven path to market leadership.
Hi, everyone. We all know how excited we all have been to go to pitch events, summits, and all those exciting moments to get a body of people together. However, sometimes it can also be finding a needle out of a haystack. And oftentimes, talking to people who are excited about what we're sharing, but not truly understand our niche, or would just tell us, sounds good, and then we have to really chase to see if they can support us and have connections. Now, that's why we launched the HealthTech Showdown to change that by curating conversations specifically with people who actually care about the subspecialty domains that you are building on. This month in Women's Health. And for Women's Health Month, we select amazing 4 incredible companies chosen from very highly competitive pool of many people who has applied, and brought in some powerhouses of expert panels to have this engaged conversation. Now, welcome to the HealthTech Showdown. I'm your host, Sabrina Rumbach. Joining me is our brilliant co-host, Martina, and she is a healthcare leader, innovator, over 15 years and experience in transforming how healthcare is being delivered in the tech space and policy. And myself has also been having more than 15 years of public health and clinical medicine background, and truly has turned around to see how do we create the right conversation to scale more with sustainability. Without further ado, let's introduce our judges. Hi, David.
Hello.
Want to share quickly about who you are and then where you are stationed?
Sure. My name is David. I'm the Vice President of Mission Integration for Christus St. Michael Health System in Northeast Texas, covering Northeast Texas and Southwest Arkansas. I've been in healthcare for almost 20 years, even though I know it doesn't look like it. Serving in many different capacities. My clinical background is mental health, but I've always been interested in business development and in leadership mentorship. And I've developed a variety of nurturing resilience programs, as well as programs that focus on helping developing future leaders and continuing to build innovation in healthcare, as if you're not growing, you're shrinking.
Yes, thanks, David. And Adam.
Hi, everyone. Adam Heller here from Oakwood Circle Ventures. We're focused on innovative healthcare companies across digital health and med tech. We look at companies in the seed through Series B stage. We're about a year old now. We've made 4 investments to date. Prior to OCV, I was an investment banker in the healthcare space for about 17 years. So I've advised numerous entrepreneurs on them thinking through their capital raising and M&A strategy. And then I'll note that women's health is a core thesis of our strategy. We just think it's a huge market that's been underserved for years, and there's a lot of great young companies and innovation coming up in the space. We've made 1 women's health investment thus far, and are opportunistically looking for new great ideas in the space. So thanks for having me.
Perfect. Kira.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining. Kira Sauber. I'm sitting here on the Hudson River staring at the Empire State Building. I have a high-bid background, former biotech CEO. So I had 1 small molecule company, another large molecule company. So 200,000 steps to get those to market, both in oncology and then autoimmune disease. I started my career at Wall Street and then pivoted to GlaxoSmithKline, where I spent half a decade, rolled into mergers and acquisitions, backed with private equity and a hedge fund. So truly, that Wall Street and then owner, operator, CEO, founder. Currently, I reside as board of director of a female health medtech company, advisor to 2 other healthcare biotech companies, and also on the IC of a venture capital fund, which is the most active venture fund in the country, according to PitchBook, 3rd in the world. 2,500 portfolio companies, $1 billion plus. Women's health is near and dear to my heart, and trying to bring that delta of women executives, not just CEOs, only getting 2.5% of venture dollars, and shorten that arbitrage model.
Thank you for sharing, Chris.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Christopher Cunny. I serve as a managing partner for HealthTech Consulting. We are a healthcare technology advisory and solutions firm. We work with a wide variety of players within the healthcare ecosystem, both providers, payers, academic institutions, government agencies, and startups. We serve as advisors for a handful of women-owned startup businesses as well. I serve as a CTO for one and an industry advisor for a few others as well. Excited to be a part of this conversation. I'm a firm believer in doubling down on women entrepreneurs, and especially focused on women's health issues as well. So excited to be a part of this event today.
Awesome. And then we have another judge who is going to come out later from Tenor Healthcare Ventures in Georgia. Okay. Without further ado, we're going to start bringing our contestants back on stage. And first up, we have Myra from Prelude Health, and she has 2 minutes to share with us her amazing pitch. 1 second, and we will bring her up to speed and give you a timer of countdown to get you started. Okay. Whenever you are ready, and then we will get the timer started for you. So whenever
Okay.
Whenever you're ready.
Let me ask. Good. I'm good to go. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like your body is betraying you, but nobody takes you seriously? You just keep hearing, sleep more, exercise more, sleep early. Sounds familiar? Well, this is the reality for 4 out of 5 women between the ages 35 and 55. Perimenopause is a 15-year roller coaster with over 30 disrupting symptoms, with no roadmap and no support. There's just one menopause-trained doctor for every 9,000 women. Lab tests are expensive and offer only a single snapshot in time, so women are forced to figure it out alone. We're talking about a $1 billion women right now navigating this, spending billions of dollars in guesswork with no real solutions and no offer in real time. But what if we could offer women the same quality of care that athletes get? So this is how we created Hormony, the first rapid at-home saliva hormone tracker that delivers real-time insights so women get the right care instantly. Non-invasive, saliva-based, and gives actionable answers in minutes. Our tests are Class 1 device, already regulatory ready to launch. We have secured commercial partners across Asia, including distributors in Japan, a pharmacy chain in Hong Kong and Singapore, and we're launching this summer with a $700,000 projected revenue for the second half of the year. We have a team of experts that combines commercial and scientific experience. My background is leading the go-to-market team in Adidas Southeast Asia. Dr. Kumbler has previously launched a company.
All right, thank you. And let's get our judges back on stage and share with some of the insights. All right. Kira, want to take away?
Sure. So perimenopause, I mean, there's over 100 symptoms now, and I think the big issue there is a lack of education. And due to the lack of education that comes both from the provider side, clinician offices, whether it's the endocrinologist, the OBGYN, or the GP. So I'd love to hear what you're doing from a COI, KOL perspective to then push this forward. The next is I'd have to dive into on the saliva home test, what exactly it's testing, and then the cost analysis, go-to-market strategy, and where the levers are pulled. So that's like what I would love to see in, a 30-second Rocky pitch with the whole 2-minute showdown. But it's in an important field, obviously. Huge potential.
Should I go and should I give a quick runway? No. Okay.
Anybody else have insights before we move on to our next contestant?
I do think this is a potential for a large market. I wonder how that technology integrates with EMRs like Epic. Christus recently invested hundreds of millions of dollars making sure that all of our 65 hospitals and 185 clinics have Epic as a communication device between outpatient and inpatient. And it would be helpful if those devices would have a way of integrating with EMRs like Epic.
So just to bring that, that's on the go-to-market, right? Like we all want to see something around like the GTM.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree as well, too. I think it's a growing market with the silver tsunami taking place every day for the next 25 years. 10,000 people will be turning 65, and obviously menopause is going to be a big part of that health issue to be dealt with. One of the things I wanted to get a better understanding around this home-based testing is, again, what are you testing for, and then how would those tests be leveraged to treat those specific conditions as well too. So those are some things that came to mind.
Perfect. All right, let's bring on our next contestant on stage. Hi, John. You will be coming up next.
Great, I'm ready.
Awesome. Let's switch you to the spotlight. Make sure we have the right people. Oops. All right. So the timer gonna start get going, and then we are ready whenever you are.
All right. Good morning. For millions of women, a sneeze, a laugh, or a simple jog can trigger the trauma of stress urinary incontinence, leading to embarrassment, anxiety, and often silence. Stress incontinence affects 1 in 3 women, yet most avoid surgery because the current solution, permanent mesh, is outdated and comes with long-term risks, including erosion and chronic pain. At Azura Bio, we've developed the first absorbable implant designed to deliver surgical relief without lifelong complications. It dissolves safely, allowing the body to heal itself. No permanent foreign body, no lifelong risk. Our 2-year clinical data proves our safety and efficacy. We are targeting a $1 billion+ market in stress incontinence and pelvic prolapse, stagnant from a lack of innovation. After that, we will take our patented technology into other areas of similar high need: breast reconstruction, hernia, and orthopedics. Revenue adoption will be rapid, exceeding $100 million in year 3, driven by the fact we're using an existing surgical procedure, we're leveraging existing reimbursement, and that we have high physician acceptance. 44% of physicians plan immediate use upon approval, growing to 90% within 2 years. What sets us apart? Patented absorbable technology with no chronic risk. A leadership team with 20 years scaling surgical solutions, and a first mover advantage in a market demanding safer solutions. We're raising $3 million to finalize the product development and clinical study design. Our future milestones include initiation of a clinical trial in 12 months and commercial launch in early 2028. Strategic investors are already lining up to fund our clinical trials. Investing now secures your opportunity.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing. All right. Who has some insights and comments to share?
I have some comments. I was curious, you've mentioned physician data, but do you have any patient experience data? I'd be curious what women think of this device, and outside of just physicians implanting it, what are the patient experiences or some of the comments that they've been sharing?
Thank you.
And that physician data,
Go ahead, Chris.
I was just going to say the physician data that you collected, was that your own survey? What how was that? Was it done independently? I'm just curious about how that data was actually collected.
Yeah, I had trouble getting a sense of where you are in your regulatory pathway. So just maybe a quick comment there. Just understand, it sounds like you haven't gone through trials yet, but it wasn't exactly clear. But I thought you hit a lot of the key points really well. I'll say one thing that always spooks me as an investor, though, as you say, oh, our year 3 forecast is $100 million. It just sounds lofty and very difficult to achieve. Maybe it's achievable for your company, but you hear that so many times, and you kind of get disillusioned by hearing such a lofty number, especially in such a short term, when the go-to-market strategy still needs to evolve, several years from now.
Yeah. Is this a 510K?
With clinical study, yes.
So you're doing a 510, okay? And where are you from a milestone timeline perspective?
Well, we still have to run the study. So we're finalize the product development and then run the study. So we're at the early stage of that.
Yeah, so I call it pre-commercial work when you start talking about like TAM, SAM, and then how this would fit into it. And, to your point, David, if somebody's going to tell me, it's $100 million market, I want to hear, hey, we have a comparable comp with the CPT code of this with XYZ launch strategy. And just those little blurps will let me know that you've done some of that pre-planning for strategic versus saying, hey, we're going to get through whatever milestone and then partner with, I don't know, Vesticare from GSK or something like this.
Also, orthopedic would be when you said that, my ears perked up. I'd be interested to see like what the relation is, or why even mention it, because like that's such a bigger market.
You mean versus like
your point, right? Yeah, you mentioned breast reconstruction as well to that point.
Yep, all amazing comments. Awesome. Next up, Lauren. All right.
Hey, Lauren.
Okay, Lauren, I'm going to grab your timer and then put you on stage. And then whenever you're ready, and we'll get started. Lauren, we cannot hear you.
Haha. Can you hear me now? Hello?
Perfect. Good. Good to go.
Okay. Great. 1 second. Hi, I'm Lauren Weiniger, co-founder of the Menopause. I've been building in health tech for over a decade. My first company was Safe Health, one of the first consumer-driven telehealth companies. Mayo Clinic acquired that platform. I was then an advisor and executive to some of the most advanced diagnostics on the planet. Imagine my shock when I realized that I knew absolutely nothing about my hormonal health, and neither did my co-founder, who co-invented AI personalization for social media, for Facebook, for iHeartRadio, for music and radio, and then she built a computer vision company that was acquired by Apple. And the thing is, that's what it is for most women. 100% of us will go through hormonal health challenges, and yet we're all still self-diagnosing in silos and on the internet. And if we're lucky, going to, on average, 9 specialists to finally get relief. That's why we are centralizing this insane ecosystem for the very first time. Everything in one place, your supplements, peptides, telehealth, wearables, diagnostics, and community to create ELSA, the Endocrine Longevity System Advisor, your personal GPS for women's health and longevity, with your personalized tech and guidance for your supplements, your hormones, anything you need, with individual action plus community-driven insights. Think ways, but for women's hormonal health, and feedback loops that improve and increase compatibility, signal for the noise, truly personalized and of one to you. ELSA collects data from a number of places, targeted questions, your digital health profile, wearables, diagnostics, wherever we can get it, and directly in communities. We've done a lot in a little. ELSA is trained on over 70 billion data points. This is a foundational, proprietary, patent pending model. Our own community is over 15,000, and we haven't even thrown fuel on this fire yet. And we're about to go live with our first community partner, launching to over 5 million top female executives of the Fortune 100 companies. We also have B2B partnerships moving faster than I thought. It's a great revenue model, and go to market. Nothing is powerful. There we go.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. Let's get our judges back on stage. I would like to go first. Okay. Anyone has insights for Lauren?
All right, well, maybe I'll jump in. Lauren, you started to get to the go-to-market strategy and the real business and revenue model, but I didn't quite catch it. So I know it's tough with the 2-minute timer, but it'd be great to learn more about that, because I think I heard a lot about the solution, but not really what the business is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is this a subscription model? That's what I was thinking.
It's premium. It's also paid by the employers. The cost of a woman in menopause is 25 to 45% higher, and we already have partnerships in place there. We're also embedding directly into female communities, starting with FQ and their 5 million top female executives, where women are already working and figuring out things today with each other. ELSA actually embeds directly in. That's ELSA Inside. We also do content and activations. With my first company, we did the biggest activations at Sundance and Coachella. I'm taking a page out of that when I say nothing is more powerful than an army of influential women on a mission to change the world. We have massive influencers, media. I'm also co-hosting a podcast for the New York Times spin-out podcast juggernaut, Campside Media, with Dr. Carrie Jones, who's a massive influencer in this space.
Yeah, I think that was one of our comments before, is that you have a lot of background, right? It's excitement, but we need to get to the meat a little bit faster.
Yeah, I apologize. My diligence meeting ran 3 hours over just now, so I'm a little less prepared than I had hoped to be. But life of founder, hope you guys understand.
Oh, good. Any other insights before we move on to our next candidate? Awesome. Let's bring Aaron on stage. Have to see. So we have today 2 companies that are centered about menopause, and then one has the gift of and also divide. All right, take away.
Sounds good. Thank you. Let's go. So imagine a battlefield tool designed to pull bullets from soldiers' body. Now, this tool is used daily on women every day during gynecological procedures. We're still in 2025, and we are still using a 100-year-old instrument that causes severe pain, bleeding, and trauma. That's the cervical tenaculum. So pain shouldn't be a barrier to healthcare, but still 120 million women endure from mild to excruciating pain every day during IUD insertion or removal, when we know that the IUD is the most efficient at 99% and cost-effective contraceptive solution. 37% of women refuse to get an IUD out of fear of pain, leading to unattended pregnancy, delayed diagnosis, and $21 billion of preventable healthcare costs annually in the US alone. And the cause is the cervical tenaculum, a century-old clamp with 2 sharpie teeth that injures 89% of women, causing bleeding and unnecessary trauma. Patients, women are demanding better, and they deserve better. Gynecologists now have a better and modern pain-free alternative. That's our device called CareVix, because we do care about the cervix. It's the next generation, FDA cleared, CE marked, and it's the new non-traumatic cervical stabilizer that has been designed for making gynecology modern. Sorry, less pain, less than 170, up to 73% reduction, no lesion, 83% less trauma, and higher clinician and patient satisfaction. We have real-world demand with 1,300 patients worldwide who have benefited from it, 93% of patient satisfaction. And we have launched the device in Switzerland with Bayer, and now we are launching it in Q2 in the US. 3 million views on TikTok, 2,000,000 women demand for it. Thank you.
I appreciated just the percentages of the results. I think I had a good sense of how patients feel about it, providers feel about it. You shared the geographies you're in. I think I'd want to hear a little bit more about whether it's reimbursable or maybe I missed that. But I think overall you did a great presentation.
Thank you, Martina.
Yeah, I may have missed this as well too. I wasn't sure. Has it already gone through FDA approval? Or are you prepared for the U.S. market? I don't know if I missed it or if it was covered.
Yeah, it's already FDA cleared. So we already have the 510K.
Yeah, I would have liked to hear if it's something that it's reimbursable, especially since a lot of these our communities don't have private insurance and what private insurance would do. And then what the marketing strategy, I assume your strategy would be to market to providers, not individuals.
Yes, correct. So the device is so we've submitted our data for reimbursement. So right now it's not reimbursed, but it's still work in progress. And in terms of marketing, we are targeting providers because it's a class 2 device, but we are also targeting women who can influence the decision and bring also this instrument to the gynecologist.
Awesome. Any more insights before we move forward to the next round? All right. Here's the fun round. We're going to bring everyone back on stage. And we're doing our fun round is that a scenario round. So this is your prompt, all the contestants. And we want to hear how you would solve this problem. Your growth is accelerating, okay? But your team is burning out. Adding more people will temporarily slow things down. But how do you lead through this scaling dilemma that pretty much all companies can go through without sacrificing who you are for the culture and the momentum? So who like to take that stage first? All right.
Can you re-ask it? Sorry, I just trying to understand.
Yeah, I'm also going to put it in the chat.
Oh,
so the
okay.
scenario is your growth is accelerating, but your team is burning out. Adding more people will slow things down temporarily. How do you lead through this scaling dilemma without sacrificing culture and momentum? Myra, you want to go first? Let's see. Where are you? Oh, let's make sure you're on stage.
Hi. We actually had this in my previous job. I've been to 3 restructurings where I led the change. And the biggest thing is that you need to sit all the key players on the table and then have them go through the processes and the systems and plot out together their key responsibilities. We basically did a workshop and we used tools like Greenbelt. We did also a few hand down with the rest of the team, and that really helped us optimize what we were doing and how we can deliver better. That got us through 3 really good restructuring in the past.
Mm-hmm. Sabrina, do you want other people to answer too?
Yeah, so I would love for all the contestants to answer now and also hear from the judges.
So I'll jump in. So I've had experience dealing with this throughout my career with people burning out, how you add people in without causing additional stress. A lot of it does revolve around, I think, as Myra mentioned, talking to the team, the servant leader principle, get your team involved, understand how they can help build that process forward, right? Use them as an advocate, and then you have them on your side as you do that. I think that's really critical, and that's worked effectively for me in the past.
I can go next.
Okay.
Okay. I would say experiencing it in the past as well. It's really about understanding which team member is working on, making sure that you also have processes in place and standard of work to try to really have them focus on the 80-20 and what will make more impact. But sometimes I've seen people really focused on everything, and that also leads to burning out. Making sure that you also have a commitment from the leadership team and in supporting the rest of the team. So having those process, standard of work, and making sure that the team knows exactly what they need to focus on, even if you have to get some of the work out of their bucket for the moment, and giving them the vision of what is happening and the exciting stuff and the growth, and that's the result of their work.
I can go. I guess I'd say I'd examine the burning out and the concept of knowing that we're going to slow things down temporarily. So if my team is burning out, it's likely because they're working on too many things, they're feeling like there's no hope, they're not seeing the impact, or they've just lost that like inspirational gusto, right? And so if taking a look at what each member is spending their time on, and how can you take some of those things that are less inspirational for them off their plate, and sometimes outsource it, right? Like agencies can be great, sometimes long-term, a lot of times temporarily, consultants, people that can pinch it to help that burnout part and help them really focus on what excites them. And then in terms of, in addition, adding those additional full-time hires that can grow with your company, doing it in such a way that that it's additive, right? And so I like to kind of buddy people up and appoint them with people that are working on similar or adjacent roles. And we have basically a process that doesn't slow that person down. That person comes in and the job is to be additive. Even if they're not doing, that new person isn't doing as much right away, they're helping the existing person. And then we get them scaled up over time.
Yeah. And just to echo Lauren's point, I'm just going to double down on that's where strategic leadership really comes into play. I say this, with full empathy for founders. Not every founder, when the company is scaling, should be the CEO. They should really know whether they're head of product development or maybe another role, because you have to protect the culture while pacing. You acknowledge that burnout is there, engage the team, transparent conversations, but they need to feel heard. I've seen that, I've had teams of hundreds of people under me, and then this small, scrappy, 7-person team. So when you're bring in support intentionally, not just onboarding more people, right? But it's the right people that can integrate quickly and lift that pressure point. You're always going to have that short-term friction of.
Got frozen. I'll finish.
Advisory board, business advisory board. And at the same time, leaders should really model balance and make sure it's okay to pause, reprioritize, protect that momentum deliberately and not reactively. So I joke with some of the companies I'm on the board of directors or advisory. I'm like, give yourself grace. This stems from leadership. Chaos breeds chaos. So if you're a chaotic CEO running around, that's going to trickle down. So again, be deliberate, not reactive.
Yeah, exactly. And I think for us, it's all about these 5-dimensional integration. It's who you are as a leader. Everyone is looking up at you and how you model success, despite of whether you think they're looking at you or not. So truly think about how do we honor ourselves with the time and intention. So when you start bring on these additional resources that need to help you, are they first understand you enough to help you? So something that very specifically we do for all of our roles and the company that we deal with is that we're creating these roles that actually have a very specific category. This is the 3 or 4 leaders you're supporting. This is how you will be successful in communicating with them. So if we're not putting our leaders and centered, then we are continue to just have a body of people that are not matching the movement, the direction where they're going. And especially when it comes down to talking about core value, it's not so much that they are believing, quote unquote, in your core values. They have to already embody that. Otherwise, it's really hard to push things forward. Anybody else have thoughts on this?
Yeah, I would just add, sometimes it's just nice to get out of the office, get away from the business itself, go do a company retreat, go spend some time away from the day-to-day grind and just be human beings again. And sometimes we forget that we have to have that part of our psyche or humanity to just get away and be human beings again. And we get so caught up on the day-to-day grind, trying to meet deadlines. We're high focused on getting the product to market that we sometimes we just need to get away and relax, and decompress, and get to know each other and enjoy life in general too. So I would highly encourage you that you build into your culture as well too. That it's not just about working 18 hours a day, but it's also about enjoying life as well too.
As a founder, nobody's as invested in you and nobody's as motivated as you. So having regular rounding on a weekly basis with your team and helping everyone recognize we all entered into this venture for different reasons and we stayed for different reasons. And when you have that feedback loop, then when it's time to bring others on board, you recognize that they're going through their own loops and you're able to ask them to be leaders and mentors for those who are coming up because it's the dynamism of the organization going as well.
Awesome. Okay, so now we would love for all the judges to take a moment to answer and for who are their favorite contestants for these rounds. And then I appreciate everybody sharing their insights on this really something real that we all have to deal with at some point. Because burnout is something that sometimes we don't even see. We are so driven and pushing as founders, and it becomes just keep going, right? That mentality of we'll figure it out once we get there, and then it becomes to just when we're just
What is happening?
background noise. Sorry. There's some background noise. It's always interesting with the virtual platform.
I'll jump in. So I think she's saying to the judges, please use the link in the chat to vote if you have not done already. I don't know. Can everyone hear? Sabrina seemed to have disappeared. Okay, Sabrina seemed to have disappeared. So I would just guide the judges to that link right there if you could see where she posted that. All right, excellent.
Thank you for saying that. I definitely missed her saying that.
Oh, good. Yeah, I don't know. There's a weed whacker going on. There's some IT
Right.
issues.
I think somebody, somebody's lawn maintenance is, it happens all the time for me. They come at the worst time.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, I'm completing the evaluation now.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Well,
All right.
you
So
know
yeah,
what?
I don't know where Sabrina is, but I mean, I think everyone is doing a great job, maybe just in lieu of time until she gets back for those contestants. The key elements to highlight, I'll just jump in for the pitches, because I know it's so hard in doing this in 2 minutes. And it's really, as you get started, it's like 1 minute and 45. It's always like problem, solution, product, traction. So I think a lot of you guys are on some really great momentum there. Especially those that are going through the FDA or already got the 510K. So just really highlighting that somewhere in the middle with the market, business model. And then we didn't really hear much about the financials, but then just throwing that out there like, hey, we've raised, 5 million in grants, so 200 here looking for this, to make sure that that's clearly articulated.
Yeah, I mean, hey, we're all here. I'm happy to go through ours. I don't know how else we use this time. But
yeah, I mean, I'm trying to fill it in. Hopefully,
there she is.
So just went over some key best practices quickly, and then had everyone fill out post point judging form while you were gone.
Perfect. Yeah, Martina, co-host, step in when my computer is gonna be dying on me. The wonderful thing of forgetting your own battery system. Yeah, thanks to everyone for showing up and then sharing. And love it that each of you guys, what we try to do for this episode is definitely see companies in a similar subfield, and the interest of both the people who wanted to have investor perspective as well as the hospital side. Because at the end of the day, we wanted to make sure these into the patient's hand. And now go-to-market strategy is also very different, and we can all take a different channel. Now we are waiting for our system to send us the final results as the judges are sending us our survey. So appreciate everyone for showing up here. At the last couple minutes, I know some people were asked questions, and if you would like to elaborate on, and Jessica also said, and pitches everyone. So for everyone who's watching right now, you can also vote for these contestants. Just comment on the chat who you are liking from these 4 contestants, because it will help with their final score as well. So as we wait for a second, we can also announce that we do this once a month. And what we hand select is usually 4 to 6 contestants for episode, and then personally invite other industry leaders as well as people who are investors in that specific space. And next month we're it's something that
Weed Whacker's back.
I know.
Sorry, it's me. I don't know what to do.
Just mute.
I don't know how to do it.
Mute.
Bottom left, mute.
Yeah, I just muted.
Hey, I had a question for the panel, because I think it was a very good point somebody brought up. I mean, that when you show these revenue numbers and you say, well, we're going to have a fast uptake, which we will, and I think there's a way to show that in 2 minutes. There isn't, but there's comps that exist. I like that idea. Would you show like a chart with comps from other similar companies and say, here's the inflection points and here's why we think we can do this?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what I like to see, is that,
Okay.
always a division between the board and the bench. And so if I don't have a CEO that has really gone into the market and that has just been so focused on the science and assumes it's going to be a product market fit, that shows lack of business acumen. To bring in, a CFO, somebody that's ran commercialization out of a med device company, a pharma, biotech, that understands, right, product market fit, market volume penetration, market share growth factors. So you can pull that off of, whatever. LinkedIn has a ton of stuff. You can look at Bloomberg.com.
Kara, I've done that. So I know what, I'm just asking how, because your point is a really good one. It's how to show that, because the comps, I can pick out some comps that are really good,
Yeah.
and people will look at it and say, yeah. So showing their revenue ramp alongside ours to say, this is a consistent revenue ramp, and here's why it plays, here's what they did, and here's what we did relative to whether it's a reimbursement approval or a physician adoption, or whatever that is, number of sales reps, however you look at it. There's a bunch of ways to look at it.
You answered your own question then.
Yeah,
There you
yeah.
go.
But it was really getting to, it's showing the comps. I think that was the key thing, because it's not believable without the comps.
Make it believable then. It's your presentation, your pitch. There you go.
Yep. Thank you for the feedback.
Okay, there's a
Mine's getting stuck on the last question. I've lost two now. Oh wait, there's three. Which one? Missing.
Okay, I know one of the other questions that we have heard from the public was asking our panels how to best go for commercialization plan. If there's any general approach when people start thinking about commercialization plan in the US, what would they do in the sequence of things? If anyone like to take a stab at that.
I can take this one. I would say, and that's the approach we've been trying, is to start with a limited release and really focus on specific area where you can showcase success with your device. We have been also very focused in building relationship and collaboration with different healthcare systems. So we work with Columbia University, more on the academic side, but we also work with TIA, more on the clinic side. So that way we have different type of customers where we can showcase the success. So I will probably highlight those two steps as we are getting ready to launch more broadly in the US.
Anyone?
I think also then, I think it also depends on whether you're going B2B or B2C as well too, in terms of the partnerships or channel strategies you might want to employ. Whether you want to, is this a technology that can be a bolt-on and an add-on? Someone mentioned about integration to EHRs. Is this something that you could put in an orchard, for example, to help get you some market penetration? Or is this something that you may want to co-brand with another company as well? I think it really depends on your target market. Healthcare in general is the sales, especially for devices and technology, the sales cycle can be lengthy as well too. So you have to be prepared for kind of a longer journey, and it's a credibility building marketplace as well too. It's hard to just introduce technology into healthcare and expect them to come just because you built it. So you really need to think about again, if you're going B2B, say you focus on the provider market, then having a provider partner definitely helps build credibility, but also understand that market takes quite a while to penetrate as well too. So just a couple of thoughts.
I really believe in keeping the message simple. Who's your customer and why do they want to buy it? It's almost a drill down, because everyone always starts with a problem statement, which is kind of the big market opportunity, but then drill down of who are the specific customers in that market and why do they want to buy your solution? And then you can even take the next step of, how do you get in front of them? And that's where the channels come in, and it gets a little tricky where, if you're selling through physicians, that's not directly your customer. So maybe the message is, why do physicians want to prescribe this for their patients? But I think if you just keep those simple messages, you can cover that in maybe 3 or 4 sentences in a short elevator pitch.
Yeah, for sure. we always ask people to do a lot more of market research, and not just based on what you know about the market, the research is whatnot, but how can you narrow down first? A lot of time people have many potential market channels, but then they're trying to do too much, right? And they start with 3 different ones just to see what works. But then you're diversifying all your resources, people, money, and messaging. Now you have to try to convey to 3 different type of people. So it's hard in the beginning, especially when you start just getting traction, to say like, where do you double down at when you start to figure things out, and then don't want to limit yourself. But to me, we always think what works the best is that's not limitation. That's actually truly connect to a subset of people that get you to the next level of revenue. Then you can start to expand from there.
I always like to remind myself and others, right? Whether you're talking about partners or investors or customers, it's what value are you bringing to them? What pain point are you solving for them? And then the messaging is clear. Even if you have different channels, say, for us, like we're embedding into communities, we have the integration in with EHRs that goes directly in with women's health doctors and longevity clinics, and with the B2C app itself. But the whole time we're solving the same problem, the same pain points for these, which is everyone is clueless about what's happening with women's health, and we need a better solution for personalizing it. And we're solving a pain point for all of them, and we're just really clear, so people want it. So it becomes a pull situation.
Yeah, I think it's a different kind of an approach. The technologies that are made to enhance and help us better understand where we are. Not everybody is as literate as everybody on this call when it comes to a lot of the technology, wearable and otherwise. So emphasis on making this mass scale and something that it could be utilized by an average user, especially when we're talking about the perimenopause. A lot of those individuals don't want to have multiple apps, so highlighting the efficiency of having all of these solutions in one place is a big win. In terms of device, it just gets so complicated. So choosing or trying to partner with a reputable women's health organization who can stand behind the product and say, we're going to reduce all the symptoms and the pain that these devices have traditionally caused, and provide, because this is such a needed service. I could see the value of it, and I'm trying to rack my head about how do we put this in front of folks. And I think having champions in the OBGYN world to be able to speak to why this is such a better product can go a long way.
Yeah, I think that's what Lauren did really well with getting champions on her messaging, and same thing what Akron was able to do, leveraging some of the physicians side, and then going to the public to get the buy-in. So that's for sure we've seen that has done well, right? Like to get the public aware and then drive the change from that side. And then also ditto what Lauren said is, I always believe in when your message is so clear, then you use the same storyline, the same content over and over again. But the only thing you need to change is when you speak to different people, you only elaborate on certain subset of information, because we all have different buyer persona, and then your call to action will be different. All right, let's double check. Shauna, can you please give me the final score, and then we can wrap this up. And thanks everyone for staying on, for participating, for sharing your amazing story, your technology. And then our ask for the panel is going to be, is there any offer on the table to further explore this technology in the subset, whether it's the system that you're developing, your hospital side, your investor side, any offer on the table to have for conversation?
Lauren, you and I could connect after this next week.
Love to. Not everyone at once.
I think Sabrina, you're muted. I think what would be helpful is a one-pager follow-up with, what you're looking for, and then what you've raised, how much you're going to raise, and what are you doing on a safe and convertible note? What's the milestone? So just really quick, easy, and dirty one-pager, because that was not clear to me. And I think everyone on here has a different thesis.
Okay.
I would agree. I think it's kind of challenging to make a full commitment without doing a deeper dive as well too. So any collateral you have to help expound further on your solution, I think would be helpful in terms of the questions that we're all asking ourselves about where you are today.
Great.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, do something with a clear ask, because there are different ways of collaborating and investing. So, and something that shows that you understand scale and partnership.
Absolutely.
I think Sabrina froze.
All right, well, let's get into those results. I'm sure everyone's
Come on.
Where's the results, Sabrina? I don't have access to share.
I think Shauna. I have the results, so I'm happy to share.
Share.
Yes, let's go.
So the winner is Myra and Harmony.
Great job, Myra. Yay!
Wait, sorry. I think I screwed that up.
Oh no, just
wait, let me just confirm.
we have a share a screen situation where you could say present at the bottom.
Right.
Yeah. No, it's Myra and Prelude Health. Yeah. Why does it say? It says Myra. Okay. Yeah. Okay. You won.
Okay.
We're thank you. Thank you.
I love the anticipation. Had to,
Yeah, great
add a
work,
little.
Myra. Yes.
Thank you. That was a lot of suspense.
Where are you?
Right now, I'm in Mexico, but we're based out of Singapore and San Francisco.
Okay, got it.
Myra, I'd love to connect with you. We should.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
We should. Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
A lot of synergy.
Yeah.
I'm a big
Congratulations.
believer
Myra.
of partnerships.
Yes.
Thank you.
Exactly the kind of solution we want to help us all rise to the top. So let's do it.
Yeah.
Hey,
Amazing.
Sabrina, while you were gone, she shared the winner with Myra, but maybe you want to just show the scoring really quick, share the screen so everyone can see where they fit in.
Yeah, so we'll have everyone send a one pager to all the panels so they can continue the conversation, and then we'll connect with Lauren, because you two can definitely collaborate on the platform, and then we'll have more exciting things coming up. And then Myra will have your interview scheduled to get the press release out. Now, bonus is everyone who has pitched, you automatically get added to the press release. It's just not a whole blog written for you, but you are still going to get all those hundreds of showcases across the US, Canada, and UK. So excited for all of it, you guys, for spending the time learning about the processes, and then also just a quick feedback, right, for us all learning how was the experience going through the prep sessions and getting on stage, and minus all my tech issues.
That happens. That's what happens when there's a live show. It's unpredictable. All right.
Yeah, thanks
everyone.
for everybody for dedicating your time. Really appreciate it.
Definitely interested in learning more about the platform, so feel free, definitely please share the content.
Will do. Thanks a lot.
All right, great job, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks
you,
again,
everyone.
Sabrina. Thanks to your entire team.
All right, take care.
Thank you,
All right.
Sabrina.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Ready to showcase your healthcare innovation? As a VIP contestant, you'll work directly with our industry experts to accelerate your growth before taking the stage. Join visionary founders who have scaled their impact by 10 times and shortened their sales cycles by 3 times. Visit pulsepointpath.com/contestant to start your journey.